All right, we're recording. Welcome, you guys. Empowered to Lead. We're so excited for this team call today. And we know you all are too. You guys are blowing up the group with excitement for this. And we're so excited, Jessica, that you're here with us. And we're going to get to the questions here in a minute. But first, in true leadership fashion, we want to do a quick recognition. And we're so proud of this girl, Jenny Wood, rank advanced to 1-star for the second time this week. So exciting, Jenny. And she got a shout out from Amy Harshman yesterday on one of our calls, and I just thought we gotta give her another shout out on the group. So when you guys get a chance, message Jenny Wood, tell her, awesome, good job. She wasn't even gonna run for it, and she's just been in such action, and she's been building so much value and vision in her team that it happened organically, and so exciting. So yeah, give her a shout out when you get a chance, guys. And then before we jump into the call, I'm going to go ahead and unmute Cindy here. But you all know that for the last week, we have fully launched our rebranding with Empowered to Lead. ISABLITZ is still in our hearts. It's still in parentheses in the group name. But we're really excited for this vision that Cindy has set forth for us. And I just wanted to bring Cindy on real quick to share with you guys her reaction to all of this that's been happening, especially because we didn't get to see your face last week, Cindy, while she was traveling and visiting her family. But Cindy, yeah, please share with us what this has been like for you.
It's been amazing, guys. I'm so excited. I mean, it's just incredible to see just all the leadership rising up. You guys have so many incredible talents and gifts and qualities to share, and you're all building strong teams. And I love it because I just really feel like it's totally like God bringing it full circle. Like I said before, that when I started and nobody was really doing that, I felt like, is this something you should do? And, but God has a plan for our team. Obviously, we've just got the most amazing team. All of you are incredible leaders. And it's just really so exciting to me to see the way that you've just kind of, it just been empowered to lead, to come out, step into your power and your position as a leader in this team and in this company. And it's just a real blessing. I'm super excited about it. And there's just incredible things coming. So congratulations to all of you. And thank you, Rachel, our little Rachel, who is such an incredible leader in her own right. And just, stepping into just really wanting to invest in these team calls and kind of lead that for a while. It's such a blessing. You're an incredible young leader. I love you. I think you're amazing. And I love all you guys. It's really fun to watch. And I'm so blessed and excited to have another incredible leader on our team share tonight. She is seriously, guys, this woman, Jessica Regner, is one of the most talented women that I have met in this company of Isagenix. And it's a privilege for us to have her on our team. She's amazing with people. If you get to spend any time with her and you see her just interacting with people and the way she connects and just how she adds value to people, just naturally, it's just who she is authentically. We're going to learn a lot tonight from her. So Jess, I just want to say thank you so much for blessing all of us tonight with your incredible talent and the gifts that you bring. So thank you.
Oh man, that intro was great. I love it. Cindy, thank you. No, that was perfect. I love it because I'm so excited to have Jessica on, and Jessica, so many people on our team are like, wait, she's going to be on our call? Like, we're going to get to talk to her and hear from her? Because if you guys weren't at New Year's kickoff, I mean, one of the most touching, she was training on the why. And when she was on stage, there was not a single person sitting like butts in the seats that wasn't just locked in. And if you were at New Year's kickoff, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And she's here with us to share on connecting outside the box. We hear all the time about connecting and verbiage and skills and things like that. But I mean, what an incredible opportunity to have somebody that's so skilled, so passionate and dynamic come onto our call and really get into the nitty-gritty with us, things that we don't talk about a whole lot. And so, Jessica, we're so excited you're here. And for those who don't know who she is, the biggest why, and she talked about this on stage, is that she's a mom of 4. She has 3 biological children, and she's a foster mom to 1 beautiful baby. I guess not so baby anymore. But just amazing, amazing kiddos. And so she's here to share with us and bringing that energy and that passion that she had on stage at New Year's kickoff. And she's here sitting in her home to share with all of us on this team call. So Jessica, we're so excited you're here. Is there anything you want to, I can see you wanting to respond to Cindy. Go ahead.
No, you guys are amazing.
Okay.
I love
Cool.
it. Now, here's a couple things that I'll say if you don't mind.
Yeah,
So
please
I
go.
remember when Cindy did my first team call, and I will tell you, I'm not joking you, I should have taken this call from where it took place. It was 2 people in my dining room. She didn't mean to do it. She happened to stop by Janny's house. We were on the phone with Janny, and she literally did. It was about an hour-long call. It was one of the greatest vision calls I'd ever heard. I was fascinated, and I had been in corporate America for a long time, and I thought, this is one of the greatest calls I've ever had. And it was amazing. And it was so impromptu, and it was so well done. And I just remember that, Cindy, just 3 years ago, a little more than that probably, you doing our first team call. And the other thing I want to say is, Rachel, I need to edify you. I said that I just sent a message to Cindy, and I said this in my group, but I mean, there is no one I don't think that I know that's cuter than you, and that's more professional and organized the way you run this call. I'm on Lynn Hagedorn's call tomorrow night, and we are not even remotely as organized as what you prepared.
That's like the best compliment you could give me.
Guys, she pre-sent me questions. She confirmed, she reconfirmed. I had a 30-minute warning pop up. I mean, just so professionally done. And I'm so impressed. I've been impressed with you since, I think it was Celebration. It was an event pre-celebration when Cindy stood up and shared something that you had shared. Might have even been ICU Newark. It was Celebration
2015.
Amazing. And I've been impressed with you since then, and I continue to just be blown away. So thank you for having me. And Jenny Wood, way to go, girl. 1 star again.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. She's rocking it.
Love it.
All right, Jessica, thank you so much. So before we jump into the questions, I would love if you would just share a little bit about even like what you talked about 3 years ago. What was going on with you? How did you get involved with Isogenics? And then fast forward us to today.
Yeah, let me give you the quick bullet point. So 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, it was October 2013, my neighbor had been having great success with Isogenics. And even though I felt like I had tried so many things, her results were indisputable. And so I said, you know what, I will try that. But I will tell you that I was no stranger to the name. Isogenics was a name I knew because in my corporate life, I had worked with companies in network marketing, delivering their payments. So if you've gotten paid by Isogenics and you have an ISA wallet card, before there was ISA wallet, there was something called eCount. My first company, I was the 5th employee of eCount. We sold eCount to Citibank in 2008. And for 4 years, I stayed on at Citibank helping run the network marketing industry. And I was Amway, Herbalife, and Isogenics were clients of ours. And we were delivering commission payments. So I knew a lot about the compensation plans that companies had because of us delivering the commissions to people. So I could have told you how many people made over $1 million at Amway and how many people made less than $100. Those were the kinds of information that we had. I knew about Isogenics. In fact, visited Chandler probably every quarter. Used to sit down with Patty Raphael and a woman named Rashida Wiley, who are both still in Isogenics. If that tells you what kind of company this is, we're going back more than 10 years. Both of those people that I used to meet with are still working at the company. And I will tell you just background. When the company says this tagline that if it's not right for the associate, it's not right for Isogenics. And it's easy to think that maybe that's just something that they say, to appeal to associates in an audience in a stage setting. But I will tell you, sitting down in meetings, that is one of the most commonly heard things in that building. And we would hate it because as a vendor, we wanted to charge fees to associates. We wanted you to have to pay a fee to go to an ATM because that's how we made money. But I will tell you that Isogenics was adamant. If it's not right for the associate, it's not right for Isogenics. And they live that way. And that's what you're part of. But going back to my neighbor, so I knew the company, but never the product. So there was an ethics clause that we weren't allowed to try any products. And when you visit a company, they would try to, they'd give you an e-shot, or they'd give you a piece of jewelry or whatever, depending on the company. And we were not allowed to accept any of it. It was a partiality. They didn't want you to show partiality. So by the time my neighbor had success, I had started another company. She has success, and I say, I'll try this. And guys, even though I was skeptical, the biggest skeptics you have will almost definitely become the biggest believers, because that's how opposite things work. When I'm that skeptical, I become that big of a believer. And by day 5, I said, whoa, this stuff is good. And not only did I think it was good, I knew my own personality, and I knew I needed some people to hold my feet to the fire. Because I knew 30 days wasn't long, but it was long enough that I knew I could go off the rails. And so I said to a couple friends, hey, does anybody want to do this with me? And I put a few people said, yeah, well, if you get your money back at the end of 30 days, why not? And so around that time, we started thinking, wait, you get your sexy back or your money back? And that kind of became this thing that you would say so often, you get your sexy back or your money back. If those are your only 2 options, how can you lose? Sexy back or money back? I'm willing to pay to get my sexy back. And if I don't, I'd love my money back. So 5 people were enrolled, and that is when Jenny Elo started trying to get in touch with me. And so people may assume that, I know Jenny. I didn't know her at all. We had no reason that we would have been in touch, except she found my name in her blueprints. And so she reached out to me through Facebook, just found me and said, hey, I want to talk to you about this opportunity. And so use Isopulse, because there could be beautiful people buried in our downlines that could do something amazing with this opportunity, but they don't really know it. The person who enrolled me didn't understand the opportunity at the time, and nor would the person who had enrolled her. And so there were 4 people in between us, and Jenny pursued. And if you were at NYKO, you may have heard me share this part, but at the time, she would not have attracted my attention. This is part of how I'm going to answer some of your questions, Rachel. So I'll just preempt it this way. She would not have attracted me by calling me and saying, hey, I saw you enrolled 5 people. I want to talk to you about how you can make lots of money with Isagenix. It would not have interested me. But what she said was, she asked to share her story. And she called me on the phone, and I thought it would be such a short conversation, but she shared her story and how it intertwined with Cindy's story. And it's such a cool story. So I was fascinated. Like, this is a great story. And then what she said was, it's a mission business and it's kingdom building. And God had had a restlessness on my heart that I wanted to do something bigger than what I was doing. And I really felt like, wow. I remember praying that night, and I've shared this before, but I remember praying like, God, really, you're going to use shakes? Is this where we're going with this, shakes? But I just said, you know what? When she started sharing these things about this vision, she said, I have a vision to bring tired parents home from jobs that don't serve them. And I was a really tired parent. And that vision, when she shared her vision, and I talked about this in NYKO, so I'm repeating myself if you've seen it, but I so strongly believe that a vision is attractive. People may not be attracted to shakes, adaptogens, and Ionic Supreme, but they will be magnetized by your vision. And the more I found that people share their vision, the stronger it is for them. And so hearing her vision, I thought, wow, this woman is either totally brilliant or completely insane. But I'm not dumb enough to not figure out which one of those she is. And so I said, okay, well, how would I do this? And if anyone's ever asked you, what would I do? And I'm jumping to some of your questions, Rachel, but that night I put a post on Facebook, and the world of network marketing has evolved in 3 years, but that post, people were interested in what I was talking about. And so through that, a good number of people enrolled. But I will tell you, I was still working a very absurd schedule, very, very crazy corporate life where I traveled a lot. And I live in suburban Philadelphia, but I worked in New York a couple days a week. And I flew a lot of places. And I have 3 little kids of my own, as Rachel shared in the beginning. And my husband and I had started buying investment properties in New Jersey. If anyone's East Coast people, anybody knows the New Jersey shore, Cape May. If you've ever heard of Cape May, New Jersey, Wildwood, New Jersey, that's where we are. So I was managing all of those things. But this was fun. People started saying, yes, they wanted to do it. And we'll talk more about how that kind of, where that went. But I will tell you that at a certain point in May of 2014, my daughter was walking out of her bedroom in our upstairs, and I was rushing to catch my train. And I was coming down high heel, trying to put one shoe on down my upstairs hallway. And at the same time, my oldest daughter, who at the time was 7 years old, was coming out of her bedroom and her jeans were 4 inches too short. And I remember seeing her like it was the first time and saying to myself, I'm missing it. For what? And that was the day that I decided I was going to walk away. And I will tell you that I got on the train that day and I knew I was leaving. And it, just to really be honest about what I was walking away from, I was an equity holder in a company that I was a founder of, and we were preparing to be acquired possibly by companies like LinkedIn. So I was walking away from something that was something, but I will tell you God's plan, that company still has not been acquired. The company's still out there hoping to be acquired. So God's plan made something that was seemed like a really hard decision. Now look back and go, wow, that was an answer. So I will tell you that I love the Jersey Shore so much. We love to be down there in the summers. And that summer of 2014, Isogenics allowed me to build my business from the beach and watch my kids who for 6 years previously, we had a nanny who lived with us. And she was helping because my travel schedule was so erratic and so intense. And my husband's a high school principal. And so his night activities meant we needed full-time care. And we needed it on demand if we needed to be somewhere. So I ended up building a business on the beach and really watching my kids boogie board. And I always say that they'll never forget that summer. 2014, they'll never, ever forget it because they got their mom full-time. And then my journey continues that God had such a bigger plan for our family. When I heard someone else in Isogenics, Deanna Falchuk, talking about her journey in adoption. And we really felt the call to become foster parents. And we've been foster parents now we just finished our 5th and 6th placements. 2 little girls. We had a 4-year-old girl who was blind and her 15-month-old sister. And they just transitioned last Monday. But I can't even tell you when they say that the most unlikely people can rise up and do this business, and this business will hold something so beautiful for you. I'm an only child. I never babysat, never ever. My cousin was an awesome babysitter. She had her own business cards. I never babysat. No one would have wanted me to babysit. I wasn't particularly interested in little kids. I was not great caregiver, and I had a live-in nanny for 6 years. I'm about the least likely person to be a foster parent. But what I hope that you get out of this call tonight is what we all have a part of in Isogenics can accomplish things that are dreams that are laid on your heart that you won't believe it tonight. Tonight, you will have a dream that is niggling at you potentially, something that's in your heart. And this business, this opportunity can allow you to accomplish it, and truly. And so let's talk about how. So Rachel, I'm sorry for that long introduction.
No, that was great. I think everyone can agree that no matter how many times you share your story, even if it's repeating it from New Year's kickoff or from another call, it's so powerful every time. And that was one of the things that I noticed as I was going to more and more events and hearing people do more and more calls. I remember saying to my husband, it's amazing to me that they're literally saying the same thing over and over again, but it never gets old. But that's how you know it's authentic. You see people in these videos and they say they use the same verbiage that they do on stage or one-on-one. That's how you know it's real. It's not just a show. So I appreciate you so much and what you shared. And I could listen to you talk about your story all day. So I'm so grateful for you. But yeah, so let's get into some of the nitty gritty. Like you gave us the overview. And so the whole idea behind this call is connecting outside the box, outside of what we normally talk about in connecting. And so tell us, what was connecting like for you when you first started? And at what point did that shift happen for you to being a not so weird connector that we all are in the beginning? So what was that like for you?
So I really believe that social media had a huge part of my business. Mm-hmm. And how I used it 3 years ago and how I use it now and how I coach people has evolved, right? Because here's the good news. Network marketing has lost some of the stigma that it had. And lots of people have seen that having a virtual franchise is actually a brilliant thing for their families. What that's done is it's flooded Facebook. It's changed Facebook. So when I first started, Rachel, the fact is I put up a post that a lot of people responded to it. And it said something like, slipped into jeans I didn't think I'd wear again. It was Janny had really given me verbiage that felt like I had made authentic. I love this program. I'm grateful to the person who got me started. And that post was something people responded to. And now I will tell you, if you're someone who's put up a post like that and you haven't gotten that kind of traction, and we enrolled probably 14 people from some posts that first month, can that happen today? It's not as common. Because now we're in a little bit different world, and that's okay, because we can still use social media in a lot of really cool ways. Because what I was saying to my team the other day is the people who are most, Kathy Coover says it, you're the happiest when you're enrolling. Can we agree? You want to re-energize your team? Go enroll some people. Do you want to re-energize yourself? Go enroll some people. That's what re-energizes ourselves and breathes new life and energy into our teams. And I've seen that people who are consistently enrolling are consistent on social media. They really have refined their identity and authenticity on social media, 10-4-1. They've taken that to heart, and they share before and after pictures, because I'm sorry, before and after pictures are really what people find valuable, their own or other people's. And a lot of people, I posted one today and it's like, okay, I've been in it over 3 years. 2 people wrote me and said they want to get started because of a picture I posted today. But when you do that consistently, you'll find people are watching. And so that's one way that I built early on, is I didn't have a ton of time. So social media, some posts, people would comment. I would comment back to them. I'm going to PM you some information, but I didn't have time to go back and forth. This was one of the hardest lessons. And if anyone is new on here or they're struggling with this, I hope this is saving you the time that I wasted on this. I remember a woman writing me that I hadn't talked to since I was in 3rd grade. She transferred out of my elementary school in 3rd grade, but she connected with me on Facebook. And when she wrote me, I said, Janny, I can't get on the phone with this girl. I haven't talked to her since 3rd grade. How do we catch up on all that time to talk about isogenics? And Janny said to me, then you know what? Then don't follow up. Because if you don't get people on the phone or they don't hear your voice, it is so much more challenging. When people tell me they want to message back and forth, I say, really, truly, you're going to spend a lot of time, and your ratio of people who are going to say yes is going to be so much smaller. So for people that don't have a lot of time, I say, listen, get people on the phone. And people write me and they go, hey, this is what I would do now. If people write me and say, hey, I'm interested in more information, I might comment and go, hey, I'm going to send you something. And my message to them could be through voice memo. You guys all know how to do voice memo on Facebook Messenger or on text. Almost always on Facebook Messenger, you go and you hit the microphone icon and you click record. And once I'm saying, listen, it'll take me so much longer to type and you so much longer to read than if you have 2 minutes, I can give you a download. Can I call you? Can we chat quick? And if I'm not busy, if I'm not available, then I go, listen, are you free a little bit later on, 4 o'clock? I'm going to call you at 4 o'clock. And then what I will typically do is I'll shoot them a video and go, take a look at this. When I call you, we can chat. It makes your calls a lot shorter to do it that way. And so that's typically what I'm doing now. Some other ways that I'll tell you as it's evolved, some other things that I like doing. If I'm going to talk about Facebook, I'll say, you guys you're unique individuals. You probably have things that you're really passionate about. I am a twin mom of multiples. I'm a foster parent. I used to run marathons. I'm in all these groups that are unique to that. I like mom humor. I'm in a bunch of mom humor kind of groups. I'm in these groups with people that are like me, and you're probably in groups with people that are like you. And I have made the mistake of posting in those groups about what I'm doing. And that's a really good way to get kicked out of groups that you actually like. So I've stopped doing that. And what I've started doing is I post to add value, things that I think are funny. In the moms group, I post funny things. In the twins group, I post things like, I had twins before Beyonce made it cool. I post things like that. And then people that like it, I look through it, I go, oh my gosh, look, you think that's funny. I think it's funny. We should be friends. Okay, so I friend a lot of new people through that, and I get in conversations where I ask people's opinions. I wanted to buy an Instapot. So I'm on this local mom's page, and I ask people, like, is this Instapot truly worth the money? Who has one? What, can you give me some thoughts on it? People love to give their opinion. Ask on your Facebook page or on a group you're in, should you buy or lease a car? You will get a ton of comments. It's Valentine's Day. Post things that will get responses from people. Like, I posted something that said, if you had to marry your partner in the place where you met, where would you marry? It had so many comments. But there's a couple things I'll tell you. When you do that in a group, awesome. You've automatically engaged with people who may have things in common with you. And I like to friend those people. And then when I friend them, sometimes I say, thank you for accepting my connection request. I love being connected with other fill in the blank. Powerhouse women, moms of multiples, people who understand the value of good cooking gadgets. Like, those are things I might say. Like, I like being connected. If I'm doing it on my own page, if you're posting things on your own page that are going to get responses like that, like, should I buy or lease a car? The Facebook algorithm works on an edge ranking, and when people are engaging with your posts, your edge ranking is higher, which means more people will see your posts. Because if you study how Facebook algorithm has evolved, it means that less and less people start seeing your posts. More people like us are seeing your posts, less people who are out who've never experienced eugenics are seeing them. Right? By doing things like that, you increase your edge ranking. So I'm friending people in the group. I make a lot of new friends. So if I don't do it immediately, I usually carve out a time, Thursday or Friday, where if you go to your friends setting, and it'll allow you to filter your friends by recently added. So I go to recently added, and then I send those people a message and go, I'm so glad we connected, and here's why. Something from their page. The other thing that I love my team to do this, because I love to reach out to people, but you may not. And you may be uncomfortable, it may be something uncomfortable, or you may be getting back into it after taking a break, or you may be having a bad day. One of the best things I do in a daily method of operation is I do voice memos for people's birthday. And you cannot leave doing that and not be in a better mood yourself, because Facebook will show you whose birthday it is, and I get it right on my phone, and I go through and I hit message, and then I hit the microphone button, and I click to record, and I say, Rachel, I wanted to wish you the most fabulous birthday. I hope that this is the start of one of the best, most abundant years of your life. Have a fabulous day, girl. You are such a light. I'm so glad that time at celebration that I got to hear those amazing words that you had to say. And that's it. And honestly, when I try to remember something about them so that they know, like, I'm really thinking of you. But I almost always tell them that I hope it's the start of the most abundant, fabulous year of their life. Because honestly, I want to hear that from somebody else. When it's my birthday, I hope they tell me I'm going to have I hope that I like to thank God for blessings in advance, like that he's going to bring in the future. I like to thank him right now for blessings in the future. And that's like, I want to speak into their life. I hope this is the start of the best year of your whole life. And I like that. Now, here's the other thing. You may have people, if you're like me, you may have people in your network that you have no idea how you connected with them. Say that. So I'll go, Cindy, happy birthday. I hope it's the best year. Cindy, I need to be honest with you. I have no idea how we originally connected, but I am so glad we did. And usually those people, I try to look at their page and just make sure that I reference something. I noticed that you guys got a new puppy. I know that can be a rough time, but I hope it's going great. Have an awesome day. And I think when people hear your voice, you often get messages back when you do that. And people go, that was really a cool thing. Thank you so much for doing that. But even more, when you are saying you're being kind to someone like that, you can't be in a bad mood. It lifts you up so much. And I believe it raises the attraction factor. And guess what? It also makes you less uncomfortable with reaching out to people because you get good feedback. People want to hear from people are thanking you for reaching out. And then it's not as hard I sent a message today. I'm going to pretend like I'm doing it. It was to a woman that I used to work with who's just a fabulous, incredible, influential woman. And she was probably in the top 5 on my chicken list. And I said, Maura, I wanted to just reach out to you. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I have been so nervous about writing to you, but I made a commitment to myself that I was going to reach out to the most influential people that I know and ask them for some help. And I know you probably are flooded with people in your life that would love the solutions that I have a hold of. I'd love to connect with you. I hope you're not laughing, but I'd love to talk to you. And after I had already left those birthday messages and people wrote me back and said, I'm so grateful you wrote me on my birthday, or thanks for taking the time, I felt so good. I thought, hopefully Maura will do the same thing. Like, hopefully that I have this good attraction energy that I feel. And
that is gold. I love that.
You got
It's
it.
so great. Like expanding your network by adding value to people's lives. It's just, I mean, it's so simple and genius, but I love the examples that you gave. And I have like really crappy notes. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to the recording because I'm like 2 words here and there, but it's so good. So like you've already kind of gone into that next question, but are there any other ways of like expanding your network, kind of unconventional or creative things that you've done?
Okay, so a couple things I'm going to tell you really quickly because you have some other really good questions there. But Facebook has a graph search. You can search for people who are like you. You can search for people, graph, GRAPH, search. And you can search for people that are like you. Like, you want to know people in the UK? You want to friend people that maybe they have a common connection with people you're friends with? I do the same thing on LinkedIn. And I started sharing other posts on LinkedIn and building up my network there. And so my last company was a LinkedIn optimization company, and I could do a whole training on how to use LinkedIn, but I've barely started using it. But I will tell you, it's good. You can do an advanced search on LinkedIn to search for kinds of people you want. And here's what Scott Aaron has done, some great LinkedIn training. And he said this thing, which I thought was so good. He just said, look for people who are like you. And he's a trainer. So he said a lot of people would discourage me and they'd say, Scott, that's ridiculous. You want a gym owner, not a trainer. Trainers are broke. And he was like, but I'm not broke. They would say, well, trainers are meatheads. And he would say, I'm not a meathead. And Scott has enrolled these amazing, if you know Joe DiBianco's enrolled these amazing trainers that are like him. And they get you. And you're on the same vibe. And honestly, I found that working moms relate to me because we had something in common. And you might be someone who's an amazing chef. You might relate to people who are amazing chefs, or people who are really into sports or football. People who are from big families. You might have this niche of just connecting because you get it. And I think that's such a good thing. And you can do that across every network. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat. You can just connect with new people who are like you. And I think groups are such a good way. LinkedIn has great groups.
Yeah. And what better way to, like you were talking about, like motivating, boosting your confidence than being around a bunch of people that you already know you have something in common with. Totally. So the conversation starter's already there. That's really good.
Think about who you are from an authentic standpoint. Who are you? What do you love? What are you passionate about? What defines you? You know, my mom has rheumatoid arthritis. So my mom is in rheumatoid arthritis groups. You know, I know people that are, they're working moms. There's working moms groups across these other networks. There's people who are like bingo. There's groups for that. Let's connect with those people. The other thing I'll tell you on a daily method of operation, which is a huge part of how we've done this business, is everyday consistency. Mm-hmm. Every single day. But I love I love adding to a DMO. Just pouring beautiful things into people for no other reason than to pour beautiful things into someone else. And so I will tell you I like to write people on Facebook and just go, girlfriend, saw the picture of the shoes, nailed it. Awesome, love them. If you do that through voice memo, even better. Mm-hmm. But your daughter, her kindergarten recital, I watched the entire video. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? And why does her teacher look like the same teacher we had? Is that the same person? Like, that's the kind of thing that you want to write to people. Mm-hmm. Just because how in this day and age, we are so disconnected. We're so like, you like someone's picture that you went to high school with and you feel like you still are friends, but there's no personal interaction. Mm-hmm. When you make it personal, I have to tell you, people are going to start looking at your page. Comment on people, like people, send them a message, even if you don't really know them that well, Because guess what they're going to do? Look at your page. But then here's what you have to commit to. Your page is going to tell them a story. Because your page is absent, you're stop being consistent on Facebook, and then they'll just be like, oh, it's Jenny from the block. That's great, but it doesn't do anything to attract me to stay in. But sometimes I find when people do that, then I notice like they keep liking my pictures, and they haven't liked my picture in 5 years. But then now they start engaging, and I ask, should I buy or lease? And not only do they have an opinion, they want to refer me to a car dealership. So you start seeing this. It's the law of reciprocity, right? The law of reciprocity is I'm going to give you something, and then eventually you may feel that you want to give me something back. And if that never happens, by the way, guys, you get something when you pour love into people. So you get something either way.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like a million follow-up questions that I have, but I want to make sure we get to some of these because I know these are questions that a lot of our team have had. So hopefully we can circle back around, or we'll bring you back another time for sure. So we talked a little bit about like you're making a lot of new connections online, but when you are maybe meeting someone out and about, or you meet this person at the grocery store or at a play date or whatever, and it's like sparks are flying. What are some of the verbiage that you use or that mindset that you have to have going into a connection like that, knowing like you get that moment? We've all had it with someone, like they would be perfect. They're literally spoon feeding you everything that you need. How do you get that contact information without being a weirdo? How do you kind of make sure that the conversation can carry over into another day, another phone call? How do you do that?
Yeah. So that we already know that's going to happen at the end of the conversation. But the first thing that I want you to do is you get into this state. There's an energy that you give out, guys, and you will know what I'm talking about. There's an energy that you give out that says you do not care about the outcome. My biggest builder on my team will always tell me, don't be weird. Don't be weird. As long as you don't be weird, you're good. But the first thing is there's an energy that says, I don't care if you want to do this or not, right? So that's just an energy. You're not even having that conversation. You're just there, okay? You can't be in the energy that says, I have to get you for my team. You'll blow up my focus leg. You're going to probably hit Crystal Executive in 4 days. You already have them across the stage, and they haven't even heard about Isogenics. So you have to get in this energy where I don't care about the outcome. Secondly, you have to get in the energy that says, I am fascinated by people. I'm fascinated. I'm a professional investigator, and I love understanding people. So what that means is you're going to turn off the brain that says, what should I say? What's the right verbiage? What did I memorize? What should I say about Ionic Supreme when it's my turn to talk? You have to shut that off, and you have to say, Willie, listen, I love what you're saying. Tell me again what you're up to. Tell me again what you do. Wow, that sounds like a really busy job. And get curious, absolutely fascinated. Amy, I'm so interested in what you're saying. Now, I want to go back. They call that mirroring, right? So that's a beautiful thing. Have you guys ever heard that if you sit the same way as me when we're having a conversation, when you're mirroring me, I automatically, unconsciously like you better? Do you guys ever hear that before? It's mirroring, right? So if someone that I'm talking to is sitting like this, I sit like this too. And all of a sudden they're like, I don't know why, but I like you. Mirroring in conversation can work the same way. So if Laurie says to me, you know what, I love sweet potatoes. Laurie, wait a second. You're telling me you love sweet potatoes? You got to tell me more about that. And I'm really interested in what you love about sweet potatoes. You like them mashed or you like them roasted? You got to tell me more about what you love about sweet potatoes. But I will tell you that I don't think I've ever had a conversation that something doesn't come up where, think about the conversations that you have at a play date, in a park. If you're literally curious about people and you get in a conversation with someone, it is going to come up that they're tired, they drank a lot of coffee, they stayed up last night, they haven't been able to sleep, they have an upcoming event, and they want to lose weight. They want more lean muscle. They're training for a marathon, triathlon, or 5K to do a 3-legged race. Any of those things are going to come up, I will tell you. And so in those conversations, naturally, a lot of times it comes up. And I will tell you, if you look at my Facebook, I talk a lot about how, I enrolled a girl. The girl, before and after I posted today, was a girl I met on a flight to Maui. I enrolled the woman on the way back too. They both have been doing great. But here's how. So I start talking to them, and that's a long flight. So we've got a lot of time to chat and connect. But I enrolled a woman I met when I was at Starbucks. I enrolled a woman that I met last week that we were getting our nails done. And her and I just started talking about, like, she heard me. I was on the phone and I was talking to our caseworker about our foster son. And she said something about, I said, you know what, let's say I think I said to her, I never make a good choice on nail color. I always look at other people's polish and think I should have chose that color. I think that's what I said to her. And she starts talking, and then she said, I overheard you on the phone. We started this conversation. And I said, you're here during the middle of the day. Do you work? And she said, yeah, I work at Saks Fifth Avenue. I said, oh my gosh, it's amazing. That must be an amazing job. You must love it. She's like, well, people think it's glamorous, but it's really difficult. I'm 50. I'm in retail. It's tough because I work some nights and weekends. It's hard. That's why I'm able to come to the nail salon. So I said, wow, gosh, so you don't have as much energy. So what you're telling me is you work nights and weekends, you're really tired. So I'm mirroring it back to her. And guess what? In the same way that, if I was sitting like this and you started sitting like this, I feel that, like, hey, you get me. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. And then I said, you know what, Nancy? I might have something for you. I might. Energy here is, I don't care what you do. Nancy, I truly do not care. But Nancy, I might have something for you. Listen, here's the deal. Not appropriate here. Let me see your phone while your nails are drying. I got gel. Your nails are drying. I'm going to plug my name into your Facebook. Is that okay? So I grabbed her phone. I plugged my name in. And we had already talked. She felt like a friend. I knew that, I knew a lot about her by the time the nails were done. But let's say you only have a few minutes. I might take it to the weird point, but I almost never leave an interaction without connecting with them on Facebook. Wait, I met a girl on the stair mill the other day, and I said, oh my gosh, you are killing it on here, girl. Look at you. You're inspiring me. And I said, you got to come with me to Orange Theory Fitness. I just started going to Orange Theory Fitness. You should come. There's 2 of us going on Tuesday. You should come with us. She was like, I really want to try that place. Awesome. Let's connect on Facebook. She said, I'm not on Facebook. I go, oh my gosh. First of all, let's get you on Facebook. But second of all, what's your phone number? I'll text you. So I text her right there and said, Jessica, can you come with us next Tuesday to Orange Theory at 9:30? I'm going to write you again and let's connect about it. So Tuesday, tomorrow, 9:30, we're going to go to Orange Theory Fitness, her and me and another friend. I met her for literally, it had to be 3 minutes on the stairmill. But that's it. It's just,
yeah.
I want people to go with me to Orange Theory Fitness. I'll definitely show up if other people go.
Yeah.
And then here's the other thing is, this business is such a beautiful thing because you can make so many new friends and meet these really rich, interesting people, and you never have to ever enroll them. But I will tell you that there's a woman that I met her at a library. I was at the library with my 3-year-old foster son at a sing-along. And we were sitting next to each other. We started chatting. She has a 3-year-old daughter. And I was like, listen, I would love to, my kids are older. I'd love to have a play date for him. Would you and your daughter want to meet up here next week? She said, yeah. I went to so many play dates with this woman. And she knew I was in Isagenix because she was on Facebook, but I never brought it up to her. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Then she was like, it's funny. I've been friends with you for so long. I thought that you were going to ask me about Isagenix a long time ago. I really want to do it, but you never asked me. And I was like, you know what? Because I'm building this relationship because I really like Isaiah hang out with your daughter. And I really like you. And I figured if you wanted to do it, you'd ask me. But that's the energy we all need, guys. We can't try to get people because she would have run so far and so fast. Her husband, listen, if you would look at this girl on paper, you go, she'd be good for my business. Her husband's a chiropractor. She's a fitness instructor. They're really attractive looking people and they're a lot of fun. Got a lot of friends. If I would have been like, I got to get Steph in my business, she would have headed for the hills. But people will chase you because they want to be a part of what you're a part of, especially. You ever walk in a car dealership and the guy comes at you and he's like, you got to buy a Toyota Camry, a 2-seater. I got a gold one right in the lot. It's your name on it. I got good financing. Let me talk to the finance manager. And you feel this yuck. But you ever walk into somewhere and they say like, I'd love to help you. Look around. And if you need anything, I'd love to help you. And then they listen to what you're looking for and they go, listen, here's a few options. Let me show you. They don't care if you buy it or not because they're not buying it on commission. And then I'm like, I love you. I want to buy whatever you're selling. Anything. Tell me. I want to buy the boot cleaner. I want to buy the accessories, the headset. I want to buy it all because the person doesn't want to sell you.
Yeah. Jessica, that's so good. You guys, the question was share some verbiage and mindset. And did you catch that the first 98% of that whole thing was mindset? It was not verbiage. There was a couple one-liners in there that were really great. Like, I might have something for you. That's one line. Everything else is just you being a human, you being interested in them. And I love that. I just want to put you in my pocket.
Rachel, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
You, again, like I said in the beginning, that when you spend time with Jessica, just like you're spending time with her right now, she is magnetic. And just what she's talking about. I mean, she's a person that if you just met her randomly at the park or shopping in the store or whatever, and she's just engaging you in conversation and she's so curious and she's asking you questions, she's a lot of fun. I mean, she's just a person that you immediately creates connection and you're interested in. And she goes out every day to add value to people's lives, to just care about people and to make new friends. It's not like a big hidden agenda. I mean, she is a rock star recruiter, but she is a rock star recruiter because she is so awesome at just really loving people and adding value to their lives and connecting with them and having fun and having her own energy be something that, offers blessing. And it's not about what she's getting, it's about what she's giving. And you can just feel that just oozing out of every pore in her body. And that's, it's important for all of us. That really is the key. Become that magnetic personality like she is.
When we all have that, you guys, like every single one of you on this call, you have this in you. You just got to like she said, take off the weirdo hat and put it away. And just be you, be interested in that person. There's a reason that you love this industry so much, and it's because you love people. So weirdo hat, take it off, put it away, and just go be interested, okay? I love it, Jessica. Okay, so in all your experience with connecting with people, we've all had that situation where we verbal vomit on someone or they give us a hard no, and we look back and we think, yeah, I would have said no to me too. How do you redeem yourself from a bad connection?
Okay, so that one is something I've had to do so often, because when you had to fail, I think Cindy once told me fail forward. You have to be really bad before you get better, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you're never going to practice, unfortunately, the people that you practice on, sometimes you're like, oh, that didn't work out. So here's what I'll tell you. Vulnerability is one of the biggest secrets that you have. Vulnerability is attractive. So exactly what you just said, Rachel, listen. Gretchen, a year ago, I wrote you about Isagenix and I did not approach it in a great way, but I wanted you to know I still believe so strongly in it. And I'd love to chat. I'd love to reconnect with you. So that's one of the things that you could do. The other thing I will tell you is I think one of the reasons that we still enroll a lot of people is because we never stop following up with people. Every 30 to 60 days, a person's situation dramatically changes. I used to work with this girl who moved to London, and I worked with her for 2 years, and I would talk to her all the time about things that we were doing. And then I started Isagenix. I started talking about it. She's no. She moves to London, and I'm like, I was terrible when I was talking to her. And then I wrote her today and I was like, and she's not going to want to do it anyway. She said no. And then I texted her today and I was like, Kate, I know you have said no to me a million times, but I'm hoping that the 1,000,001st time I ask you, I'm going to ask you in a different way and maybe it's a good time. And she's like, actually, my brother's wedding's in June. I would like to do it right now.
I love it.
Yes. And because I'll be back to the States. I can get a 30-day sent to my parents' house. And I was like, sweet. But here's what I found. There's people that are on my team. There's a girl that's running for executive right now. Not kidding you. She has pulled and posted the number of times that I wrote her. 27 times that I reached out to her. The number of times she responded, 3. So I would keep writing. And I would go, hey, listen. So these are some follow-ups that I use all the time. At the risk of seeming like a pest, I wanted to make sure you had gotten the information. I'm such a believer in this system. You can probably tell I'm passionate. Mm-hmm. I'm just making sure my internet is working. I know I sent you a message a couple weeks ago. I've heard issues with the internet going down. I use humor. Mm-hmm. If people tell me that they're like, I just used this today with a girl and she did enroll because I love this question. I think this is from Jason Liu. Are you serious? When you told me you were interested in Isogenics, were you being serious? It's okay if you weren't, but were you being serious? If you were, we should connect. 10% off this week. We should totally connect. When you ask someone if they're serious, guess what they have to ask themselves? Was I serious? Yeah. I said this in a commitment way. Was my commitment for real? Were you being serious or were you just joking around? That's a real question.
Yeah, that's good.
The other thing is, I will just tell you, unless someone gives you a no with a curse word, you keep following up with them. Because just like the girl whose brother's getting married, people's situation changes. People's very secure, very stable, high income job can be in jeopardy tomorrow. Their kid comes home and says, Mom, I miss you. And all of a sudden they're wondering, how can I make money while I sleep? I've started building this whole team of women who live in this very affluent area of Philadelphia, suburban Philadelphia, and they're all going through these messy, ugly divorces where the affluent lifestyle that they had is in real crisis. And so they've said, one of the reasons that this woman came to me was she said, I need to figure out how to make money while I sleep because I can't go get a job. I've got kids who depend on me. I need to figure that out. Maybe that's a good prospecting message. I found a way to help people make money while they sleep.
Yeah, that's great, Jessica. And just meeting them where they are, like everything that you're saying, there's literally a solution for everybody, but you can't just assume the solution before you find out what they need. Yeah. But I love that follow-up piece 27 times. That's tenacity. That's awesome.
Listen, why would you stop? Why would you stop? Yeah. Put them on your list and let them circle around. And you don't do it every week. But I would follow up with her every month. She would, and this is the other thing. Don't stay on Facebook for mindless time suck, but do pay attention to what people are saying. Because I bet I could look through everybody's friends list and find people that are saying, I'm tired, I can't sleep, I hate my job, my boss is jerky. People are saying that stuff. And Janelle Grimm is an awesome builder on my team. And she was someone that I reconnected with. I hadn't talked to her since we were kids, but she had posted where it's hard to be a working mom because kids' sports start at the time when I'm finishing work. Mm-hmm. And I wrote her and I said, Janelle, we haven't talked in years, but I saw your post and I might have something for you. You're going to think I'm crazy. Let people know, guys, you think that they might think you're insane. You might think I'm insane until you think I'm brilliant. So we should chat about that.
Yeah, that's good. Again, you guys catching this? Just be real. Like everything that she's saying, this is how you feel. I've had conversations with so many of you and you're saying, well, I just feel this and this and this. And it's like, but you haven't told them that yet. And that's what Jessica's telling you. All these things you're thinking and feeling about these people, just be real. Tell them that. And if they're still not ready, it's okay. But at least they know where your heart is. And at least they know that you care because when they are ready, they might chase you down, just like they're chasing Jessica down. That's so good. Okay, so Jessica, switching gears a little bit. So thinking about the people that you've already helped set up accounts, they've already, they've had their experience, maybe they've fallen off a little bit. How and when do you reconnect with people who are inactive product users? And then same thing for maybe inactive business builders.
Okay, so I print out my people I enrolled list, mm-hmm. and I go through and let them know seasonal shake, specials. I try to let them know that. And it's not a great process. And I want to know from people what's a better process, but I literally am writing them one by one. Mm-hmm. Copy and pasting. I think when a seasonal shake comes out, a picture of it and a message is really a great tip that I've gotten from a girl on my team who enrolls, who really has a great retention order basket. Sending people a picture of something. If it's 10% off, here's a picture. We're visual people, just like before and afters. The other thing that I've done a ton of is I look through volume in the back office to say, your business is worth $10,000 a week. Do you know that? Or I look at the number of people in their downline and say, do you know what? You've never enrolled a single person, but I just looked and there's 76 people in your downline. And you may be like me. I was on a leg that was an inside leg where no one was really building. People above me weren't focused on building business. They were focused on getting themselves healthy, which is cool. But here's the thing. Even with those people, you sometimes will see like they've got 3, 4 people kind of by accident underneath them. You've got 3 people in your downline and you didn't enroll any of them. And if you were active, you'd be accumulating volume. But I love also to look at the people who are holding volume and tell them, if you become a consultant again, you will earn a lot of money. Mm-hmm. You're sitting, sometimes I write people and go, I just saw a check with your name on it for $700 because you've been staying active and you've accumulated all this holding volume. And if you'd like to get that check, I'll let you know what you need to do. Let me know if you have interest in that.
I like that. You're casting that vision for them, like a visual, even though you don't have a picture of a check, but telling them that. Who's not going to respond to that and say, wait a minute, where's this check for $700? And when you get to cast that vision of the business, that's really, really good. So glad this is recorded, you guys, because I've got like 2 pages. Okay, so the last thing, we're coming up on an hour. You guys are doing so great. But the last thing that we wanted to ask you about are, what are some of your go-to tools and resources that you use for new people who, whether they want to build a business or get their products paid for, whatever level of comfort that they're at that moment, what's your go-to to help them learn and kind of understand connecting?
Learn and understand connecting. Okay. So I will tell you this. When the first boss I ever had read a book, when he had the greatest personality of anyone, and literally I used to say to Doug, I hope that we raise a boy that becomes a man who has a personality like the first guy I ever worked for. He was a young guy. He was barely older than I was, but the guy had a personality that made you feel like $1 million. And he used to tell me all these great things that his parents did to raise him into this awesome person. But the thing I always remember is that he said he got into trouble once, and his dad said, youth, you're going to go out and you're going to read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And he was from a big family, 5 sisters, and you're going to give us a book report at dinner on what you learned. And he said that book changed his whole life. And if you've ever read that book, if you have never read that book, please get it. It's an old book, but it's brilliant. It's the timeless principles that still, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That and GoPro and Secrets of a Millionaire Mind will change your life in so many ways. Those 3 books changed my life. And I just love when people get into that. And then in terms of what tools do I have them use for connecting?
Yeah, just like tools or resources or like a favorite podcast or video, or what would be like a go-to, like when your new people are getting started and they're like, okay, maybe feeling a little timid or a little uncertain. What are those first steps that you give them?
So I tell them to immediately go grab ISA Sales Tools to Go app. Mm-hmm. Because if you guys don't have that, you're missing something that makes life so easy. Yeah. And it's like fishing, right? It's the only way for me to tell if the fish are nibbling on my line, because it tells me if they opened it. And you do the same thing with people who tell you they're interested in building a business. You're interested in building a business? Awesome. I'm going to send you a video called Fast Track to Executive. As soon as you watch it, let me know when you want to talk. I'm going to give you time and we're going to talk about it. Guess what? If I get an email that says they watched it, they're serious. They're worth me reprioritizing my whole day. This person watched it right away. They are ready to build a business. If I never get that message and then they come back to me and say they want to talk, you know what? Tell me when it's time, when you're really ready. Because if you were really ready, you don't want to take my time to explain how to get to executive. You would have watched that video. Mm-hmm. And here's what I will also tell you. If you didn't see, Jenny and Cindy, I think, shared with me, one of the 2 of them shared a video recently of Lair Lightner doing this, her from the car video. Laurie Lightner, however you say her name.
Lottie, yeah.
Lottie?
Yeah.
I am I've watched this video many times, and I think everyone should watch it because we need to all reset our expectations. What she said is people want to know the secret of how to build a big team in network marketing. People want to ask her that all the time. And what she tells them is there is no secret, but that approximately 5% of people are the people that will see the vision and will run with this. But I will tell you, more than 5% of people tell me that they want to do this. Right? More than 5% probably of people in the world will say, I'm doing this. But here's what you'll find. You need to do two things. You need to find and attract the 5% that are truly for real going to do this business. And they won't be the people that you need to track down and remind them to watch Fast Track to Executive. They'll be chasing you down going, I didn't just watch Fast Track to Executive. I grabbed Lynn Hagedorn off YouTube doing NYKL a few years ago, and I watched that. But here's the first thing. In order to find and attract those 5%, you need to be the 5%. And I love that's what she said. We need to be the 5%. Are we the ones pushing to learn more and learn more? Are we waiting for a leader to explain the bonus pools to us? When I have people that go out and they go in their back office and they go to contests and promotions and they teach themselves something and they call me and they go, did you know you get triple cycles in the 2 to 3 star pools? You know what? You get it. You get my time and we're going for it. Because those are the people, they're the 5%. And I better be the 5%. I know I've been that person that I've called Cindy and go, Cindy, make this easy for me. Do this work for me. Tell me the answer. But honestly, if I'm truly wanting to attract the best people, I'm not going to bother a top leader, woman of the year like Cindy Hedges and ask her that question. I'm going to go find it myself. I'm the 5%. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I will leave you with, Rachel, if that's okay, is
absolutely.
I trained on this in NYKO, and I believe it so much, not just for my team, I believe it for your team. What's going to be the difference? You got the same box that Rachel and Cindy and Janny and me and all the people you know in Isagenix, we all got the same box and we have the exact same opportunity. Exact same. But what I've seen as one of the biggest difference makers is that you are willing to commit and connect to your identity. And so here's the energy that you can help promote in yourself. Go look in the mirror, look in the camera, and you can see yourself, right, in the Zoom call and say, I'm a 6-figure earner in this company. I attract people who want to earn 6 figures, and I will take them there. I'm that kind of leader. Not everyone's goal is to earn 6 figures. I get that. But what I just want to tell you is that that's the kind of energy that when you say it out loud to yourself, I am a leader in this company and I attract other people and I help them achieve the greatness that they deserve. It's an identity thing. And guess what? That magnetizes like nothing else. You could have unicorn dust and rainbow sparkles spouting from your mouth, the most magical words about Isagenix, and you wouldn't enroll the same number of people that someone that has that energy that says, follow me, I am a leader and I will take you where you want to go.
Amen.
When you want to know the soundtrack, it's not the soundtrack, it's the energy. It's the mindset, like you said, Rachel.
Absolutely. Well, and I know everyone on this call, as I'm looking at your faces, I'm just, everything that she's pouring into you right now, and Jessica doesn't even know most of you, but she believes it with her whole heart, this conviction that you can have it, that you have this energy in you, that this is what it takes. And so we're so blessed by you, Jessica, that you're here pouring this value into all of us and these precious people that, we get to work with every single day, and that you would take your time to come and do this with us just means the world. And so I know that see it. Go ahead and blow up the chat, you guys. So good. But I want to make sure that we can end the call here in just a couple minutes, but Jessica, from the bottom of my heart, Cindy's heart too, all these faces here, let me put it on gallery view. Look at all those beautiful people. Can you guys give a wave to tell Jessica just how excited you are that she's here with you? If you want to unmute yourself and
Jessica, you are awesome. Thank you. Woohoo!
I am so glad to do it. I'm so glad. If you have questions,
awesome. You rock, Jess!
You wanted energy, Jessica. We're going to give it to you.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you.
So good. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording, you guys. If you're hopping on and you're watching this later and you're watching the recording, we're loving this energy. Keep this momentum going. We're going to go ahead and sign off. We love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your Monday.